What's up, locals? It's Trent, aka TradeMark here, and this is an update to my How to Farm Legendaries guide that I posted on Reddit and on my YouTube channel. Basically, currently there's two methods which are probably the most efficient in farming legendaries per hour. One is killing Manglemaw, which is a purple elite mob over and over again, and the other one is to run split bounty runs. So I'll talk a little bit about both of those. Now, the first method I was talking about, Manglemaw, you go into Act 1, Quest 3, A Shattered Crown, and then the Portion 2, Northwest Gate, and that's where you're going to get the crown from the Chancellor's Manor. So basically, or the Chancellor's Altar, sorry. You go into the Defiled Crypts under the Cemetery of the Forsaken. You're going to find where the Chancellor is, and you can actually find the purple mob on any difficulty. So if you're like hardcore or something, you can find it on normal and run through these. But once you actually find the Chancellor's Altar, I'm not sure if you have to skip him the first time, but here's Manglemaw. He breaks down the store right here. I'm sure if you guys have played through the campaign, you know what I'm talking about. And you basically, what I did is I just skipped right past him the first time. I don't know if you have to do that. And you'll get a checkpoint when you come down these stairs, and then you just town portal back to town and you leave game. So if you did this on normal, you don't want to farm it on normal, but you can find the checkpoint. And then you leave game and you're going to bump your difficulty up. Now this is not a very good solo farming strategy. You probably want a team of at least 2 people, probably 4 people. And set up your skills so you're all damage. So you'll notice here I put on Archon and then Glass Cannon and Wavering Will, and he's very annoying to solo because, as you saw there, he pulls you into him, and then he you know, in Torment 6 he's going to be hitting for a lot. This is only Torment 4 that I started on before, when I was just trying solo, and basically he's very difficult to solo unless you know, have some good regen abilities and you can stay alive for a while. So but this is the guy. You kill him, and then you go back. You can town portal back to town, leave the game, and you just keep coming up the stairs there, and you can just kill him over and over again. So let me show you what it looks like with 4 people.
I have a new ally in my group.
Okay, so basically when you're doing this in a team, it's essentially the same. The difference is that one person's the party leader. He's the only one that has the portal down to the altar. And basically you just go down and then you go backwards through the door again, and you come in here and he breaks down the door again and kill him. Make sure that you don't have firewalkers on or any AoE damage when you first enter this area, because it will break the door and Manglemaw won't spawn. So some people were wondering why that happens. That's the reason. But basically, go into the game, the party leader's going to start, and then you just click on their flag and go down. What you want is like a witch doctor that has summons will block Manglemaw in the doorway, or a tank like a monk or a barbarian that can go into melee range and just block Manglemaw. Because as long as the purple mob is attacking something, he won't use his pull ability where he pulls everyone towards him. So what I do is I come down here, I turn into Archon, and I just go right behind our front line, and I use my left click ability because it will crit. So you'll see I'm getting, sometimes I'm getting like 20 mil plus crits on here, and depending on your damage, like we had a group where I had there was a witch doctor and a monk and just a bunch of things buffing me, and my sheet DPS went up to like 4 million with a shrine, which was pretty crazy. I've never seen it that high on sheet DPS. Yeah, build full glass cannon. Basically, you just want to have your highest single target burst DPS in the game. And the idea is that you're just trying to kill this guy as quickly as possible. This is in Torment 6, and they recently buffed the Torment drop rate. So technically, this should be the best drop rate in the game, is Torment 6 elite mobs. And it still felt pretty low, to be honest. I think the first 100 times we killed him, I only got 1 legendary. But then the next 100 times that we killed him, I got like 5 legendaries. So I mean, that's just the nature of the game. That's just how random number generators work. You know, sometimes when the percentages are very low, I mean, you might have a lucky streak, and you know, out of 100 kills, you get 3, 4, 5 legendaries, and the next time you get 0. There was one dude in our group that I don't know if he was just dramatic or if he was serious, but he had gone like 2.5 hours, he said, without getting a legendary, which should just be unheard of, because that's like, you can literally kill this guy once every minute. Like I literally mean create a new game, kill him every single minute. So you should be able to kill him like 60 times in an hour. This is the Manglemaw strategy. Now, as far as the other farming legendary strategies, it has to do with the Heroic caches. And I already told you guys in my guide and my previous video that you can join someone's game that's finishing a Heroic and finishing an act full of bounties. And if you are there when he turns in the quest tutorial, you'll get the Heroic cache. Now, there's a more effective method, which is called split bounty farming. And basically, if any of you guys know how this works, is you go into a game with 4 people, and you go into an act, and you all choose one of the bounties to complete. So you just go through and you complete the bounties as quickly as possible. And since you're all completing a different bounty, it's like you're soloing a game on a higher difficulty, and you're working together to get the cache as quickly as possible. The cool thing about this method is that you'll get all of the golden experience from all of the bounties, but you'll also get the cache at the end of the bounty runs, or at the end of each act. And because there's different cache legendaries, usually people want to run Act 2, because Act 2 has illusory boots and the shrines, the gloves of worship, which are the shrine gloves. And Act 2 just has a lot of really good items. I think the ring, maybe the ring's Act 1 or Act 2, I forget. But basically each act has different legendaries that you can get. And so when I was doing this method, we were going through Act 2, and again, everyone picks a quest, or excuse me, a bounty within the acts, and you complete all 5 bounties in an act, and then you share the Heroic caches together. And this is a very effective farming strategy as well. I haven't crunched the numbers for legendaries per hour, but I think as soon as Manglemaw is nerfed, that doing split bounty runs is definitely going to be the next best way. Some people like rifts. If you do really fast rifts, you do have some good potential, because honestly in a rift the monster density and the elite density is high enough that you can almost kill an elite pack every minute. So it should be pretty similar to how many times you kill Manglemaw. The difference is that Manglemaw you can kill on Torment 6, whereas there's no way that you can do rifts on Torment 6 that easily. It's just not going to happen. Elite mobs, the nice thing about Manglemaw is he has the same abilities every time. Elite mobs sometimes just have very difficult affixes that make it very hard to kill something. Okay, now with this other method, when you're doing split bounty runs, basically you want to be playing on whatever difficulty you can solo in a 4-player game. So even though you can maybe solo Torment 1, in a 4-player game the monsters have bonus health and bonus damage, so it's more like soloing Torment 2 or Torment 3. So if you can solo up to Torment 3, then you're probably okay to run Torment 1 bounty splits. If not, just run it on normal or expert. And most players in the game should be able to run normal bounty splits regardless of your damage. It's pretty easy to just run around, and it's basically a normal bounty split is like playing on expert, I would say. So it's very easy, especially if you have some decent damage and whatnot. So you'll notice that anytime that we complete a bounty and we have nothing to do in the act, we'll go help other people or finish the final bounties there. So you notice here right at the end we get basically 2 Heroic caches. Now this method, legendaries per hour are not that great just from the bounties alone. I mean, you probably will find 1 or so legendary per hour just from the bounties itself. I mean, if you run them quickly, then maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 per hour just upon the bounties. But what really boosts the legendaries per hour for this method is your Heroic caches. And what I like to do is I like to save up 20 or 30 caches and then open them all at the same time, because you're almost guaranteed to get a legendary from the caches. If not for 2, 3, 4, I've had up to 5 legendaries drop from cache bags at one time. And so it just looks pretty cool to see all the loot coming out and then a whole bunch of legendaries drop on the ground. But yeah, you can open them as you get the cache bags. If you're just barely hit 70 and you're really looking for upgrades, then yeah, I would say open the cache bags right when you get them, because you're trying to get upgrades as quickly as possible. But you have to factor in those Heroic caches into your legendaries per hour. And so this method is really good because basically it's doing stuff that you would do anyways. I mean, running efficient Horadric cash bounty runs, that's something that I already suggested you do in solo. So if you run them with 4 people doing different bounties at the same time, you're going to get caches faster, you're going to get more gold, you're going to get more experience. It's just a better situation altogether when you're running with 4 people. And some people like to run rifts as a 4-player party. I would say rifts can be good if you're fast at them. The nice thing about rifts is there's usually high densities for elites, and you know, high density plus killing the Rift Guardian should give some good drops, as well as shards. And you have to consider gambling, buying stuff from Kadala with your shards when you're doing rifts, because one thing that I wanted to mention is that rifts, a Rift Guardian can drop like 40 to 50 blood shards, whereas each quest or each bounty that you do can only give you, it's like 1 shard, and then you get double that if you play above expert difficulty, and then you get double that if you play the bonus axe. So you only get a total of 4 shards per bounty, which is pretty weak compared to rifts time wise. So if you're just trying to get shards and gamble, run rifts, you know. And that's another thing that I wanted to talk about as far as bounties. In my guide I had told you guys to only farm the bonus axe for bounties, and that's actually, now the more that I've been playing, that's incorrect. I would only farm the axe that you want the cash legendaries from. There's, each individual axe has different Horadric cash legendaries. In other words, legendaries that you can only get from a Horadric cache. And typically people like Act 2 for 2 reasons. Act 2 is typically, it's pretty fast as far as the bounties. There's usually not too many terrible bounties. Some of them, like the Oasis, it can take a while to find whatever area you're looking for. But most Act 2 bounties are pretty fast. And also the best legendaries, in most people's opinion, the best legendaries, the cash only legendaries, are in Act 2. There's the Shrine Gloves, the Gloves of Worship. There's the Illusory Boots, which let you run through mobs. There's a lot of really good cash only legendaries in Act 2. So usually what you'll see is like people run Act 1 or Act 2. Sometimes you'll see them run Act 4. Act 5 has a lot of difficult bounties, so a lot of people don't do that. And Act 3, in my opinion, is the worst act for bounties, because there's some bounties where there's dungeons that are just gigantic, like huge dungeons, and it takes forever to find level 2, and it takes forever to clear the dungeon. It's just, I hate Act 3 doing bounties just because they take so long. So usually what I do is I just clear Act 1 and Act 2 for bounties, and then we create a new game. And even if those aren't the bonus acts, you'll get more legendaries per hour just because of the map layout. So that's the other thing to consider with this strategy, is try and utilize the acts which give you the best return. But anyways, yeah, guys, that's it for me. That's just kind of the update on my previous guide video. So I would farm Manglemaw, farm split bounty runs, and I'm going to be posting results as far as actual numbers on Mangle and split bounty runs, so you guys can get an idea. Right now I have about 30 caches in my stash that I'm going to open all at once, and we'll see what legendaries drop out of that, because that's going to be considered in my legendaries in my per hour farming. But anyways, guys, Malo Alpito, thanks for watching, and I'm out of here.